action figure collecting as a hobby is definitely something all of its own. It's the craziest thing. Like, we'll spend countless hours running to Walgreens or Walmart or Target trying to track these things down. And when we do finally track them down, how often do you just come home, drop them on the floor, and you don't open them for days, weeks, or months? This happens to me all the time, because I know that if I open it, I got to review it. I got to clear off the space in the shelf for it. You know, your wallet has to be able to afford it. It's definitely a weird hobby. Like, it's a fun hobby, but it definitely has its things. And then you have these toys that you buy them, and the second you get home, you cannot wait to fuck with these things. Like the RC Batmobile. I couldn't get that thing on my shelf quick enough. That sail barge, I couldn't get that on my shelf quick enough. The Jawa Sandcrawler. The Comic Cave Hulkbuster. The little naked silicone chick that I play with all the time. Just, you know, on occasion. There's stuff like that that stands out in my collection that when I get it home, it's like, dude, I gotta review this. I gotta check this out. When Mezco started doing the 112s and the soft goods, that used to be like that for me every time. I'd be like, oh my God, this is what I've always wanted in collecting. And now they've did so many soft good figures, and they're so expensive in the collection. Like, there's just more and more and more and more. Now I'll have a stack of Mezco sitting on my floor. I'm usually the last guy to review them because I'm not that excited to get them anymore. I still love them, but like the novelty has wore off. Like, they're just not that exciting anymore. And then Mezco does something like this Kong, and I was like, oh man, this thing's amazing. It's also really expensive. $240. My boy Brock got a deal on it. He shared that deal down to me. I didn't have to spend $240. And when I'm sitting there thinking, would I have spent $240 on this King Kong? I would like to think that I wouldn't, but in reality, I probably would. What you got is an 18-inch tall ape, vinyl, limited articulation, and he's going to look amazing on that shelf next to that Godzilla. Let's check this shit out. All right, so I'm going to start back here, walk it in for you can kind of see the whole King Kong, for I don't, just put the camera down and just show you his crotch, which is a nice crotch. I just don't know if you want to look at that for the next 5 to 10 minutes. So here he is. You can see that he's got like a ball joint here. I will try to show you the articulation. Nothing at the elbow, which I personally love, because if they broke up this nice furry ape, I'd be really upset. Something like this, for me, I want a lot less articulation. This is not something I'm going to pose around. It's going to something that I put on my shelf, and that's pretty much it. He does have like a ball joint at the wrist, which they hid really well. The shoulder joint is also hidden really well. One thing that I like is that they didn't like taper the fur down, and it does tuck inside of there. It has a ball on the head, which it comes with 3 head sculpts. This is by far my favorite. The paintwork on that teeth and that tongue and the mouth and the eyes are just amazing. How it kind of has like that white dusty look to it. They really killed it on this thing. You come down and it's got like an ab crunch here, which that actually works pretty decent for such a big toy. And then down here you have a ball on the hips. This one's kind of stuck. I should heat it up. I'm probably just not even going to mess with it. I'll show you this one here. Nothing on the knee, which I like. And then the feet are also on balls. I tried to move those. They barely move at all, which for me I'm totally cool with. You're not getting this thing in a lot of poses. You know what? I do have a couple Godzilla figures. I'll probably show you those with the or did I say Godzilla, King Kong, whatever. I'll show them all to you at the end of the video. He comes with fisted hands, which I thought would be pretty cool for King Kong, but they actually look kind of small. Like if you look at it, I guess I could put one on there for you. I'll put one on and show you. I just thought they looked kind of small. Even these hands look kind of small on it. Like you think that the ape hands would be a lot bigger than what they are. Maybe it's because the arms are furry. I don't know. They look a little small for me. Back him up here. These are the other 2 head sculpts that he comes with, which are all really cool. I'm glad that he comes with 3. I think it'd be better if he just came with this one and he was $50 less, but that wasn't an option. Like maybe if they would have had a deluxe one and a regular one. So this one's really cool. I just love the plain face on that. I couldn't imagine using that compared to how cool the other one is. And then you have this one with like the kind of the growling face, which is also done really well. So you have your options there for you guys that do take pictures. You could bounce that thing around and move it. Let me see if I can. This thing's also like really heavy. I gotta move it with my right hand because my shoulder's still kind of jacked. show you the back of him here. So there's plenty of paint detail in there. He's not like he's just painted one color or vinyl one color. Nice little King Kong butt, kind of flat. You think that he'd have a little bit more of a bubble on him, but apparently not. So there's the King Kong. Let me put down this camera and I try to put it in a place to where I can actually show you some articulation on this thing. Okay, so hopefully this works out all right. I gotta kind of do it and my bald head doesn't get in the way. On the head is on a ball. I will show you articulation on this, which is something I don't normally do. It does move a little bit more than I thought it would. I thought that's pretty good. The ab crunch on here also, man, that works pretty good. It's got some battle damage under here. I think they killed it on that. These shoulders are on a ball, which I haven't really messed with that too much. That's about all you're getting out of that. On the hand, let me make sure that this is even in the camera. It's also on a ball, but you get a little bit there. Let me put one of those fisted hands on there and you can kind of, let's see what it looks like. So that definitely looks too small to me. Like, I know it's got that big fuzzy arm, but you would think the hand would be way bigger than what it is. Let me see where the camera's at. And then on the leg, you got a ball in here. So I like when you open it up all the way. Make sure that's even in the camera. It's furry in here and it's not like smooth, so I definitely like that. And then on the feet on this thing, you really don't get much out of those. I'm trying to pivot it. Not much. Maybe got to heat it up. Try to get a little bit more out of it. I think this thing comes with like a warning or something. It tells you not to put it on a shelf taller than 3 feet in case this thing falls, it doesn't shatter. I don't really have that option. This thing's going all the way up 8 feet. And hopefully it doesn't fall. I'm going to put them on the shelf, maybe show you another King Kong. Definitely show you this next to a Godzilla and kind of do a price comparison with that. Alright, so here's King Kong up here on the shelf. I'll show you where he's at. Like so. There's the ground way down there. So he's like 8 feet up. So I kind of have him leaning back on the shelf. So, I mean, I think that will prevent him from ever falling. Although the joints do seem stiff. I don't think he ever would fall, but $240 toy. I really don't want that thing crashing down because I don't think it will survive an 8-foot fall. Here's the other King Kong that I have. He's sitting there holding that chick. I'm pretty sure that was made by McFarlane or somebody. Thought that was pretty cool. The other King Kong that I have, he's back there. He might be like NECA or something. I wish you could see him better. I kind of have him hidden. That one was also really cool. I'm pretty sure that one came with 2 different heads or an option for one with a closed mouth. You have this other Godzilla down here, that crappy one from that movie that every Godzilla fan absolutely hated. And then you have the Jakks Pacific. Well, actually, I think both of those were Jakks Pacific. Godzilla. And just for a comparison, I think that Jakks Godzilla was 40 or 50 bucks. And he's bigger than King Kong that was 240 bucks. So is this better than this? Yeah, of course. Light years, not even comparable. But for like, I don't know, 20 times more? Maybe not 20 times more. But he's a lot more than that Godzilla. And when you're down on the ground, you really can't tell much of a difference. I would have kind of rather had a $40 version of that than a $200 40 version. But he's amazing. If you guys are King Kong fans, God, look at that thing. I love it. Glad to have this thing in my collection. Thanks for watching.